Welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, and we are live and direct, as they say, about to go load up into the Liverbird jet and fly high as always, but in the sky to talk some football and see it from a little bit of an elevated perspective. Excuse me. I brought with me some of the best co-pilots I could find in the world. JK and the Irishman with me. How you doing, JK?
All good, bro. All good. I hope you guys do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Irishman, how are you?
Very good. JK, how are you?
Definitely. All good, bro. How are you too?
It's Twitter Takes Tuesday, Tuesday Twitter Takes. So it's always like a fun little take where you just kind of like, we're just going to look at some of the trending topics and some of the things that are kind of being spoken in the forums around on some of the talk shows or some of the other shows that are on content creator shows or some of the other things that you see on Twitter or whichever source that you utilize. Most likely you're going to all trend back to Twitter. So, or X as it's called now, the X. So, there's been some funny stuff that's been going on Twitter. I posted some of the things on my actual feed and everything else. Big up to Revenite, by the way, and hello to Bernadette. How are you guys doing? A little tongue tied. What's that? I spoke over you.
Well, no, I was saying hello to Bernie.
Oh, okay. And and basically like a lot of what you hear on Twitter, you do have to take with a grain of salt, of course. But there's a lot of stuff that's been on the Twitterverse again that's been kind of like, okay, let me think about this, or let me like give a little deeper dive into what's being said here. So yeah. Chris Angel in the house, by the way. Big up to him. Big up. The only thing funny is how this team is moving. Okay. I got you. There's been some interesting things about like let me say, oh, you know what? So this is something that's not even on Liverpool. I don't know if I can show it because it's on its Premier League coverage, I guess, or something like that. But but there's still on Twitter. But I don't know if you guys saw last night the Chelsea versus Everton matchup. Did you guys watch the game?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No,
they were up by a lot, of course. Palmer was really like, in the groove. He was really feeling it. By the way, phenomenal move for him, by the way. A phenomenal move. I think that he's like embraced the move to Chelsea and not being, in somewhat of the shadow of the other big names on City. I think this is a great move for him as a player, at least. But what happened yesterday? How do you guys feel about what you saw from Jackson?
Jackson, man. That was Jackson Jackson in his prime. He made more. Yeah. He did more moves there than he does on the pitch when he's playing the game. Man. I was like, yo.
Did you, Brian? Did you see what I'm talking about?
No, I didn't see it, but I know what happened. I read about it because I just checked the result. I saw the score and all that. I didn't really want to find out what happened too much, but I just saw the headline today. The interview with Poch or the quotes from Poch was the first thing I saw. So it was just, I don't know what it said anyway, something blah, 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 penalty nonsense. So I read that. And he was just saying, yeah, that's just unacceptable. I mean, that happens again, you're out. You do that on a pitch. Just, the team is what he said. Look, I know the boys were, like he comes out and says, look, the boys were laughing about it afterwards. They're having a bit of fun. But if that happens again on the pitch, you're out. That's what he says.
That's a disgrace, in my opinion.
A disgrace, yeah. But you know what it was, bro? He wanted to give that other guy a goal, Malaki, the winger on the right. because Palmer already got 3, and they thought, you know what, give it to the other guy now to get a goal as well. You know what I mean? Get him on the goal sheet. And
Oh no, wait.
Palmer got-
I think I understand your assessment, but it was even deeper than that. I wish I could. I don't know. And like, I don't know if Brian's a little bit more better expert on this or not. I don't know. Can I show it even though it's on Twitter? Can I show it? I don't know because I have it.
If it's less than 10 seconds long, you can show it. You'll get away with showing
no.
it. If
It's like a minute long. It's a minute long. Clip.
No. I don't know. The answer is I don't know what you can show, but I know if you are showing something, if you show it for less than 10 seconds, and you'll be surprised what you can see in 10 seconds. But yeah, not on this. But
I'm surprised that they have. I mean, I guess there's other rules for Twitter. Yeah.
You'll be safe, but it's all about copyright. It's if it's on YouTube and it's just, but yeah, hey, look, that who cares? Don't risk it. But yeah, I don't
not worth it. Not worth it. I was just asking because I do have it on my I have it on my feed. So MK Toe, this is what happened basically. So Maduke, right? That's how you pronounce his name, right?
Madueke.
Yeah, he originally had the ball. He originally grabbed the ball because there was a penalty. He actually, so there was two incidents that could have been marked as a penalty in the box. Palmer got hit, got clipped, and he went down, and he went down hard, and then Maduke went down and in the box. So I wasn't sure who it was. In Maduke's defense, he grabbed the ball thinking possibly that Palmer might be hurt, might be injured. Okay, maybe he can't take the penalty. And in the pecking order, Maduke is the second choice to take pens. So he's holding on to the ball, thinking, okay, he's going to get his shot. Palmer was on 3 goals at the time, I think. He already had his hat trick, and Jackson was on 1 goal at the time, right? And what happened was Jackson went over and was like, okay, let me take it. I want to take it. Because Maduke had the ball. He's like, let me take it. And then back and forth. Keep in mind, Palmer's still on the ground, hurt, kind of like getting over his penalty, like getting clipped in the box by the Everton player. I don't know who it was, but, Thiago Silva comes up and grabs onto both of them. And it's just like, Gusto's there too. He grabs onto both of them and kind of tells them, hey, let's get this together, act professional somewhat, and he, and ushers to Maduke, hey, hold on to the ball. Cool. Palmer gets up, goes over to Maduke and grabs the ball from Maduke saying, hey, I'm the number 1 penalty kick taker. I'm fit. I'm cool. I'm going to take this penalty shot, this penalty kick, and grabs the ball from Maduke, who at the time is now confused because he's, just fought with Jackson for it. And he sees Jackson see it, and Jackson runs over and now confronts Palmer. It's like, what are we doing?
Days of our lives, bro.
Is this really
Days of our
happening?
lives.
Is this really happening? Is this real?
Yeah.
Because again, I'm watching it again. It's on my feed. So if anybody wants to see it, just go to my Twitter feed, Liverpool 12th Man or the Reds 12th Man on Twitter, and you'll see it on my feed. But then Palmer comes over, and Gallagher has to come over and tell Maduke, hey, give him the ball. It's now the captain telling him.
Can I interrupt and say, at some point during this story, does John Terry run onto the pitch? Because they're all. I'm just waiting here, and then John Terry showed up. And he starts fighting with him. It's like the whole team has got involved.
I definitely got to get my soundboard.
Abramovich comes
John Cena. No.
Seriously, how many of these guys?
The John Cena clip, but yeah.
Is there anyone left that hasn't gotten involved in this little stramash?
Oh, it was poetic. Like it was just comedy. It was just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And like Then finally, Duque gives him the ball. Jackson comes over. He's in his face. He's talking. He wants to take it, and he's like, and he's like Gallagher is like, kick rocks, and to the point where Palmer physically pushes Jackson away, like, get out of here. And then Gallagher has to come in and physically with two hands push Jackson away out of here. And then Palmer goes and takes the kick and gets his 4th goal.
Absolutely.
And for a good point too. Palmer has 20 goals, 9 of which are all pens, by the way. So
yeah, he's got a great record.
Yeah,
like you said, there's a reason. Basically, Pochettino said it. Palmer is the designated penalty taker,
right?
Unless he decides to let someone else take it. That's why you don't have this nonsense. Otherwise, you'd have this nonsense every week. I'm taking it. I want to take it. You're a designated taker, and unless he says no, someone else can take it. That is the end of the conversation. Even if he's on 17 goals, you have 3, 4, 5, 6 players fighting like children about who's taking a penalty. Come on. Absolutely. No wonder Pochettino is going mental.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Jackson Madueke. Any of that shit again. It's like, what do you even do? Why is Jackson fighting about it?
Because he's on 10 goals.
Revenant, he said Brian, that's not what happened. Poch left it open until last night. Now he's decided to make Palmer pen taker. That's not what he said today. I'm only quoting Pochettino. That's not what he said. And Palmer's taking every single penalty that they've gotten. Like you said, he has 9. Like, that shows you how many penalties they're getting, by the way. People are using it as a thing to beat him with. It's not. He's buried 9 penalties. Look at the goals he scored last night.
To him. Yeah, more power to him.
This is why you have, there's a guy on the pitch. They wouldn't walk out onto the pitch, even if it was only done last night. When they went out onto the pitch, they would have had a designated penalty taker. It wouldn't have been, I'll wait and see what happens on the pitch. That wouldn't have happened. So they would have known. They're not going to leave it up. Yeah, he said, but you will have whoever. They will know going out on the pitch every night that someone is designated penalty taker. It won't be just carte blanche, because then you get that.
Right.
That won't have happened. That just won't have happened. So the guy comes out and he was injured or whatever. But as soon as he gets up and he says, "I'm taking it," that's end of discussion.
Yep, it should be.
And this Jackson guy. I mean, it's not like you've got Ibrahimovic. Or you've got Messi there coming up going, give me the ball. This is freaking Jackson.
Right.
And Madueke, or what? Like, okay, we're 3-0 up, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not professional football. Yeah, is Palmer greedy? Is he? I don't care. Is he greedy? That's why he goes on and does what he does in his career, because he's greedy. More power to him, like you say. Probably gets more goals because he's greedy. These 2 idiots that have done the square root of nothing. Embarrassing the whole club, as if that club needs any more embarrassing.
Yeah.
What a joke. What a joke, man.
It is pathetic. And you can see it on the play too. I watched the game as well because of that. Like, I was like, oh, okay, now I want to watch this game. Like, at first I was like, no,
if it wasn't for Palmer, where would they be? If it wasn't for Palmer and his goals, where the hell would they be?
Oh, they would be, absolutely.
Imagine they just had some guy, let's just say, Madueke played all season instead of Palmer, and then Kunku.
And they got Brian. Like, because I remember, and JK, or anyone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there an incident with Sterling and a penalty kick where, like, Sterling wanted to take it, and am I wrong, or does anyone remember that too? There was like an incident. It was like a couple games ago. What?
I remember the time that Sterling was moaning about something. Yeah.
Don't watch him every week,
Yeah, good. Yeah, go ahead, JK. What were you saying? Yeah, he fought for one and he missed it. Yeah. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, there's something happened with Sterling. He was a bit flustered about something. I think he missed it. Yeah, I think Revenant's saying that. Yeah. Yeah,
he missed it. But Palmer was supposed to be the kicker. This says something. Like, first off, Poch, like, it's pretty given. You step into the locker room, you say, "This is my penalty kick taker," and that's it. And then,
I don't believe that he did.
Like, I don't understand how this.
I don't believe that he didn't. No, nobody knows I don't believe whoever has said that they didn't know who penalty taker was. That to me is wrong. He's told, like, find me, Revenite, show me the quote that says they didn't know who the penalty taker was supposed to be that night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm not saying I don't know. I'm just saying,
every game, yeah, that's what you're saying. We don't know. So this is, I saying, Pot said that out of his. That's not what I saw. That's not what I read.
Okay.
But Revenant, that's not what I read. Is that he said that it was, they knew Palmer was the penalty taker. Like, what is it about the last 10 games or 20 games where he scored all these penalties that doesn't tell you he's the penalty taker?
Yeah, no.
No professional football team goes out on the pitch without a designated penalty taker for the night, even if it's only changed that day. But they will know before the game starts. They will say in the team meeting. They will say in the team meeting, if we get a penalty tonight, this is who takes it. This is who's on it. Yeah. So unless you were in the dressing room, we don't know. So I don't really.
Didn't this happen once to us though? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember it completely, but it was and this, because this is only because this is one of my favorite players. But Balotelli threw a little bit of a stinker.
Balotelli is one of your favorite players.
Yeah, I love Balotelli. I love him. Oh, I used to be
favorite what, basketball player or snooker player or
he's I used to
ping pong.
I like
he was good at ping pong.
I like Super Mario, man. Because I used to I used to go watch like I'm trying to think, like the last World Cup, or was the World Cup before that? It was actually the World Cup before that. Like, and I used to go, there's an Italian place that I would go to watch the games. I liked Balotelli. He's Italian, an Italian. We share something in common, and I'm not Italian, but we share something else in common. And I was like rooting for him, because I know it's not an easy environment to be, especially in Italy, so it's like I really appreciate him for that. But I remember, but you do remember it though, right? Oh, I know.
I've been distracted. I've been distracted. I've just been distracted.
Balotelli's funny, man.
No, it's not that. It's just the streets have arrived. I don't know what else to say. The streets have arrived.
I know the streets arrived. I know, and I saw him say,
"He heard Balotelli. He heard Balotelli's name."
Oh man,
yeah. One of your favorite players.
Just came immediately. Oh no, I was souped actually. I was actually really, really hyped that we got Mario, and then unfortunately, I saw
even 6 whole days after Brendan Rodgers sat in a press conference and said, we categorically will not be buying Mario Balotelli. 6 days later, he walks in the building.
Yep. Jeez. Hey, look at your potential number 9 here. New number 9.
Yeah. About that press conference, Mario.
Since he couldn't wear the number 9.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, I suppose, someone got to look. I don't know. Look, back in his early days, he was a phenomenal talent. But by the time he got to Liverpool,
that's true. We do it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if Balotelli likes pizza, but I like pizza though. So maybe we have 2 things in common, as Kato just said. But no. But you remember that though, when Gerard had to come over and actually put him in his place, basically.
He scored one goal. Yeah. 1 goal in the league. He just walked around.
Let's focus. I just brought it up as to say it was interesting how it's not like this. It didn't happen to the scale of what had happened on the pitch for Chelsea though. I'm saying this fact that this has happened twice now, and again,
that's Chelsea. This is Chelsea.
12th Mario. I got 12th Mario. I am Super Mario. Super Mario.
Mario Balotelli is one of them players who thinks he's going to be fit forever and he's going to end up playing again in 20 years at the same, in the high leagues and stuff. We don't realize that time. You get a lot of them players where they're fuck around and stuff, and
Oh
their
yeah,
career just goes. It just goes, and
yeah,
they don't realize it's going.
yeah. And let's not get twisted. If you think that Mario Balotelli wasn't a talent and wasn't something, speed keeps dropping out. If you don't think that Balotelli was a talent, whether for the international team or whether even for for City, his time at City, or even I can understand you not being high on him for what he showed with Liverpool, which was a disappointment. But Balotelli is an incredible talent. He just is someone that's he just, as JK was saying, he's someone that kind of like rested on his laurels, like knew he was athletically talented, knew he was a very, very good player, but he just didn't. He should have taken he didn't put the time and attention to his career and talent the way he should have. He wasn't. It wasn't like I heard about the stories. Actually, I remember the stories about like Balotelli would show up. I forget the name of the player that was like his roadie, but like basically he had a player. There was a player that was borderline player, kind of like journeyman, I guess you could say, kind of sort of. That ended up being like Balotelli's best friend, but Balotelli put him on his payroll. So like he would drive him to practice. And like, about the story about like the iPhone story. Have you guys heard about the iPhone story? Brian, have you heard about the iPhone story?
I'm back. What iPhone story? Who we talking? Mario iPhones.
Mario. Since we segue to Mario, I'm going to go back to Chelsea. Trust me. But I was wondering.
I don't think so.
No, there was a story. So basically, what happened was Balotelli was like in the locker room.
Oh, I know it. Sorry.
And,
yes, I just. Sorry, I've just remembered it now. Yeah.
And he found out there's a new iPhone, and he didn't have it, and that made him say he doesn't want to practice because he says, "Oh, I'm hurt," And then he sent his homeboy. He sent his homeboy out to get it, and then his homeboy went out. Drove the Ferrari, which is what he drove. He drove like a drop top Ferrari at the time. He drove the Ferrari to go pick up the iPhone, bought a new iPhone, brought it back to Mario, gave him his phone, and all of a sudden Mario's okay. Mario's like, "Oh, you know what? I kind of feel good now. My leg, my calf feels okay," or whatever the injury was. He's like, "Now I think I can play now. Yeah, I think I can play." And I was like, "Mario, what the heck are you doing? You are not making this easy, man. You're not making this easy."
You know what it is? He don't look after the thing that makes him be able to send someone in a big time car to go and get the latest mobile phone. He doesn't look after that job that gets him that money. That's what I don't understand about some players. You're getting paid good money, man. You can get paid even more if you was actually doing something good with what you're getting paid for,
And that's why too, Bernadette brings up a good point. That was one of the major reasons why, though, I did like and support, him as well. Like, he suffered some terrible racism from Italian fans. And even, I'm talking about during his national time appearances and such. And I was just rooting for him. He was just a player I rooted for because, like, it's difficult enough. He atones and considers himself an Italian, like as he loves his adopted parents, and his adopted parents love him, and he's taken on, being a part of that family and being a part of that, excuse me, that nationality and everything else. And I was like, that's beautiful. I was really, that's one of the things that made me really like, gravitate towards Mario, in that I was like, it's difficult enough when you're trying to, you have this identity around you, and it's tough, but yeah. And I think he did have a brother that was a player as well. I don't know too much about his brother or not, but yeah. But we've kind of like went on a tangent to get on Mario. Like, why always me? Why always me? And I'm not even going to do an Italian accent. Forget that. That wasn't an Italian accent, by the way. That was not an Italian accent. Because every Italian accent ends up sounding like Super Mario. Ends up sounding like Super Mario. Um, but yeah, the Chelsea thing. I was wondering if you guys saw that. That was something I saw on Twitter. Again, if you haven't seen it, you can go to the Reds 12th man on X. It's on my feed. Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy that it went crazy. Yeah, of course. I think everyone plays Mario Kart. If you have a younger and I have a younger niece and a nephew now, so like you definitely have to know how to play Super Mario.
There must be anyone under the age of even at this stage, it's out so long. Anyone under the age of 40, 45 has probably at least seen someone play Mario Kart, if not played it themselves. I don't even like Nintendo. I don't like Mario, and I played Mario Kart. I don't play any. I don't really like the whole Nintendo vibe, but I like Mario Kart. I've played it loads.
Yeah, I know. See, everyone plays Mario. See, Rusty
everybody
Crab
plays Mario Kart. Everybody.
Yeah, Rusty Crab plays Mario Kart. Drunk Vigo plays Mario Kart.
One of the biggest games of all time.
At the same time. Wow, you're going all in, huh?
It's one of the biggest games of all time. But
yeah.
I'm surprised if it's even bigger than actually the Super Mario Brothers at this stage, the Mario Kart game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I played. You can play it in the arcade. With the 4 cars.
That's why you got to watch the Tetris film. The film about Tetris.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Top
for
film.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone's. You want to order me a pizza? That would be great. That'd be great. Yeah, I watched a segment on YouTube about this guy that went to Italy, and he went to some of the best places, best Italian places to order pizza, and he tried to get them to put pineapple on top of it.
Can you imagine? Playing Mario Kart with Chris Angel? Can you imagine the shenanigans? And I would. Chris,
you'd have a lot of broken
man.
controllers, man. You'd have a lot of broken controllers.
You'd be doing like 2v2, and you'd be on a team with Chris, and he'd still shoot you. He'd still do stuff. You'd be like, Chris, we're on the same team. No blood, no foul. You know it, man.
Man. What was funny question then. This is to the chat too. For those Mario Kart players, how about this? And this is for the panel. Who was the character that you picked when you're racing? Who was the character that you tended to pick?
Oh crap! Just whatever looked nicest, because they always changed the look of them every game. But they were all kind of the same. Was one better than the other?
They all had different. Yeah. They had different cars that were associated with them.
Didn't like the mushroom guy. Yeah, didn't like looking like a mushroom for some reason. Just maybe that's just.
But his car was fast. He was the fast guy, man.
Well, if there was a fast car, if there was like a faster car or something, I probably just would have picked the fast guy. Yeah.
I told you, by the way. I told you that there's plenty of controllers in Chris Angel's house that have been broken because of it. Oh, Rasta Crap picks Bowser? Of course you would. I'm surprised Chris is probably Donkey Kong, right? Or Bowser, one of the two.
Yeah, Bowser, remember?
Remember I got
Yoshi,
Toad? Yeah. Yoshi.
Then you had the princess as well. Then you had Mario and Luigi.
No. I think Chris Angel might have been a princess guy. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Chris Angel. Well, he hasn't told us, so I think definitely I'm going to answer for Chris. But wow. He is an angel. I think he's 100%. He was a princess guy.
Wow! Headline news: Chris Angel prefers to play as princess,
and it's out there now. It's a fact now. It's out there in the biosphere. You can't do anything about
it. Oh man,
it'd be cool if we all can play each other. Like that'd be bad.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Metal Mario. Metal Mario. What's Metal Mario?
That's a side character.
Yeah, Daisy, Daisy, of course.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
When his better half is at home, he plays as Daisy. But when she's away, he's full on Metal Mario. I think that's what he's saying here.
There you go. Yeah, usually I would either go with Yoshi or Toad. I'd go Yoshi or Toad.
Does
Probably.
nobody play as Mario? Is Chris the only person who's actually said Mario? Like nobody plays. Is there a reason why
Hmm.
nobody plays as Mario? Only I don't know what metal. Because
Hmm.
I'm assuming
I
that's
know
like
that
some
you
kind of
get
hardcore play
like
as Mario.
I think you get different cars for them. And that's
Maybe that's
usually
how I was doing it wrong. Because I would always like let people who had because I never owned a Nintendo. I always had a Sega.
Mhm.
So I'd always let the people who owned the Nintendo tell me which one. Oh, pick him. I was probably getting screwed over back
Oh
in the
yeah,
day.
you're
The
getting
people
screwed
were just
over. They're
yeah,
giving you the bad choices.
yeah. I just thought all the cars were the same. I didn't think there was
Oh
any
no,
difference. I
no,
don't ever
no.
remember
The
like
cars are all different. Some have like some are have fast acceleration, some have higher top speed, some are better
Mhm.
cornering, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Mario Kart is
cheeky.
that's my jam.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start contacting some people on Facebook and reordering some record books here.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart was the game. That was definitely the game. Um, but yeah, so that's all I wanted to. I was making. I was just wanted to say that was possibly one of the funnier stories on Twitter for me, at least. Was that there is another story that just came out too, and this is something which is kind of. I was speaking to J.K. backstage about this, and that is the reports that apparently Naby Keita has been suspended for the rest of the year from his team because of conduct on you know um, conduct. What's the words I'm looking for? Conduct on committing to
I know what happened.
professionalism. Something along those lines. I can
What
read you
happened?
what
I
it
don't.
says.
Yeah, I have no idea
No, you
what
don't
this
know.
story
Okay.
is.
Yeah, yeah. So all right. So Naby Keita has been suspended by Werder Bremen. Former Liverpool midfielder Naby Keita has been suspended by Werder Bremen for his reaction to being left on the bench. Keita was reportedly left fuming after finding out he wouldn't be in the starting lineup for Bremen's Bundesliga game at champions-elect Bayern Leverkusen on Sunday. According to sporting director Clemens Fritz, the 29-year-old refused to travel with the team after being told he would be starting on the bench. Keita refused allegations and insisted he would not allow anyone to tarnish his image. Taking Instagram, the Guinea International wrote, "I wish to clarify my situation at my club, Werder Bremen. Ever since I arrived at the magnificent club, I have always shown my professionalism." Then he goes on to say, I've always tried to help the club and the great supporters, especially during the time of poor results. Since the start of my career, I have never had problems with my discipline and have always shown an exemplary attitude. I will not accept any person trying to tarnish my image. Um, to the supporters, I would like you to know that in every training session, I fight so that I can make you happy every weekend. Training, giving everything. These are the limits of my power. To my teammates, good luck for our match. Go Verda. But basically, he's been suspended for the entire season, for the rest of the season.
Um,
Yeah,
right.
the German
Okay.
club he has been suspended by the German club for the rest of the season.
So did
That
he?
is
That was a lot of chatter. Did he? Has he admitted that he did refuse to travel? Has he said that,
no,
or did he?
he
Or is
refutes
he
it.
saying that? Yeah, but is he saying yes, I did refuse to travel, or is he saying that never happened?
No, he's refuted the allegations, insisted he would not allow anyone to tarnish his image.
So the club have come out and said that he was told he was going to be on the bench, and he said, "Well, you can stick that in the old proverbial. I'm not going."
Mm-hmm.
And the club have come out and said that, and he's
Mm-hmm.
come out and said that is 100% untrue.
BS. Yep.
That's insane, man. What the
Yep.
hell is going on there?
It's like Sancho, sort of like a Sancho situation.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? And I would have never expected that from Naby, for instance. Like you can
Or
say
from
what you
Werder
want about
Bremen.
Naby, about his injury prone situation, injury prone condition, but
Yeah, but let's agree now.
post
Let's hang
was
out.
professional.
Yeah, but Naby Keita, but you just said it. Naby Keita has completely denied that happened.
Yeah.
So why are we saying? I mean, like, let's hold judgment here. Like, I mean, you can't say, "Oh, you're disappointed in Naby." For what? He's come out and said it never happened. He's come out and said they're lying. He said, "I never refused to travel." Right? That's what I'm hearing there. So, I mean, if Bremen can prove
that he's,
that he's refused to travel, because this is at the moment, this is just basically he said, she said.
Yeah.
So why would a club like Bremen come out and make a statement like that?
Yeah, no doubt.
Then,
I mean, why would they?
If they couldn't back it up, if a player known that a player is going to come out, that's a completely crazy situation.
Maybe just to get him off
I'm just telling you what. I'm just telling you.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But don't anyone judge anyone here, because you've got one guy being accused of something, and that guy is then saying, "I'm sorry, but I did not do that." Not even one. That is completely untrue.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare. That to me does sound like they've tried. Look, again, this would just be the first thing that comes into my head when I hear that, is that someone's trying to engineer a scenario. That's all I'll say.
So he leaves the club in the summer, maybe.
Well, you're hardly going to stay after this, are you?
Yeah. Job done then.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm just going to guess he hasn't played much this season.
He hasn't.
He has not. He is not.
They probably realised
he's
that he
been
never
on and off
does
injured.
that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jake.
And I'm going to go out on another limb, sorry, and I'm going to say he's on a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I would have to check on that. On how much he's making, but I don't know. I don't know how much he's making at Werder Bremen.
He was a risk anyway, considering, I think only because he played for Liverpool, they ended up getting him. And also, he was pretty good in Germany before he came to Liverpool. They probably thought we might get a decent player.
Yeah. I mean, realism, Jared. Yeah,
minutes.
I get this. I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. I saw it. He says, "Why just not Werder Bremen player instead of former Liverpool player? If that's not the definition of clickbait, he doesn't know what is." I mean, yeah, obviously.
Well, that's how you get. Yeah, look, that's
the reason why I click on it is because it's Naby, and of course I still have like an interest, some type of interest, and a little interest in seeing what's going on with his career. But
he hasn't been playing.
I don't know.
106 minutes is So they probably got him on a free, offering him probably big money for a club their size.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't play all season. Yeah, I can see why they would want some, but this is a very it's very unusual way of going about. I can't see Naby Keita saying, "I won't be on the bench." I mean, he spent most of his Liverpool career on the bench.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I would actually prefer to be on the bench, considering that the team lost 5-0. But I mean,
and we have to say he is Klopp's worst signing as Liverpool manager.
Ouch.
Oh yeah.
For the wages and the fee and everything, it's £100 million there. So for me,
absolutely the worst signing. Pound for pound, waited a year, spent huge money.
Big expectations as well, bro. He got the number 8 shirt from Gerrard, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, that put a weight on his back from the very game.
100%.
I
remember that Man United game away.
You could almost argue that that's almost becoming a weight on Dom's back too now,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all these Hungarian Gerrard people.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing that. But no, MK2, we actually did this before, and we did actually rate it. The bottom two were Thiago and Keita, but we rated Keita as pound for pound the worst signing because he cost a hell of a lot more than Thiago did, and we had to wait a year for him. And Yeah, pretty much. But it
Mhm.
was close just in terms of it again. And that thing, don't forget, that was nothing to do with quality of footballer. It was just about the actual transfer itself. And both of those transfers were totally disastrous. But Keita, just because he was a club record signing at the time, waited a year for him, came, he got injured, then he didn't really do anything, then he left for free. I think we got a good 6 months maybe out of him. There was about a 6-month period where he was playing a fair bit, but I think that was about it.
Mhm.
Man United away, bro. That game. You remember that one? He was. That was his best game for us. I think it was 5-1
Well,
to us. Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. One, he does not make a lot of money per se in football terms. Okay, he makes a lot of money for average day people, but he is the top earner on. Technically, he's the top earner on the team for Werder
Shit.
Bremen. I just looked that
You're
up
right,
right
yes.
now. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 players that make the exact same wage as he does.
I'm going to guess he's on 50 grand a week.
Oh, that's a good guess.
What's he on?
65.
You would have lost on Price is Right, but that's a good guess. 48,077 euros.
At Liverpool, he was getting 100.
Oh, he was on a lot more than that.
120 was
You
it?
know, a lot more than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot more. And he would have gotten
Yeah.
a nice, he probably got, I'd say somewhere around 2-3 million to sign on there as a free agent.
Yeah.
Much nicer signing on bonus.
Yeah.
That's
he's making,
that's just a mad scenario. That really is, and you don't really see anything. You do see that in without anyone taking this, you see it in the Turkish league. You see it in some of the more kind of unstable leagues. Turkey's crazy, but you rarely see that in Germany. In terms of they're very well-run clubs. You don't often see this kind of drama stuff happening.
Yeah. Yeah, he was making before he came to Liverpool, he was making, this is all in euros too. He's making 75, close to 76,000 euros at the height of his run. And then he came to Liverpool and basically doubled that, pretty much basically doubled that. He was making 140,000 euros a week. For 1, 2, 3, 4, for 5 years, he made 140,000 euros a week.
There you go.
And then, which is which is exceptional.
That's why he's
exceptional.
sad on
That's
that deal.
that's like taking 2-3 players of ours right now. You could add up Adrian and Diaz, and Naby was still making more money than them.
Yeah, well, at least, I guarantee you, Diaz has come almost close to what he's done in terms of appearance bonuses.
Yeah, easily.
Like Naby has got like all those bonuses that Naby got: appearances, goals, wins, assists. He would have made absolutely nothing. And Liverpool are famous for highly incentivized contracts. Like we give the best bonuses.
Yeah.
Well, we a couple of years ago we were given the highest bonuses in the league. Our wage number was a bit lower compared to some people. It's like, why is that guy only on 90 grand a week? But it's like, well, look, all he has to do is play, and he's on an extra 30 grand a week.
Yeah.
If he gets a goal, he's on an extra 80 grand a week. If we win, he could make an extra 100 grand a week.
Yeah.
So Naby won't get any of them bonuses. At least we know that much. At least we can,
if I'm
Naby's agent with that.
If I'm Naby's agent, I'm telling him I'm working the best team incentive, not personal incentive deal I can make. Like I'm riding whatever Liverpool can do, not whatever Naby can do.
That's why strikers don't want goal bonus. That's why a striker will always want a higher win bonus than a goal bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if they don't score, if the team wins, they it's nice, but some people might think, they'll want a high goal bonus. They don't really care about that. They'll get a goal bonus, but they'd much rather, weight it towards what the team does than what they do. So even if they have an individual game off, but the team still wins, they get the maximum bonuses from it.
I will admit this, and this is funny because Bernadette brings up, she remembers Mane saying, if you think I'm good, You should wait till Keita arrives or comes. But
Hey.
Steven says, I thought Naby did good when he played apart played apart from his last season. I thought Naby was a good player. He just couldn't put together a run of staying consistently fit, unfortunately for Naby. Because there was times when, I'll admit it, I was down with the NFT midfield. And that was during the whole NFT thing, was the NFT craze for the crypto thing or whatever it's called, and that was the nickname that was being given to a possible Naby, Fabinho, and Thiago midfield.
Very apt, because that's about it lasted about as long as the NFT craze itself.
There you go.
Yeah.
But one thing I remember this really high up German tactical type dude. I can't remember his fucking name. Anyway, he said the problem with Keita was, as everyone knows, we had to wait a year. Klopp identified him as his perfect midfielder. And he wanted him, like, they really went all out to get him that summer. And he identified him as perfect for his team. The kind of the early gegenpressing style that he wanted to use. So he was like, okay, so he waited a year. Then Naby arrived. Naby was basically injured for most of that first year. So then it's 2 years. And then Naby slowly starts coming into the team. But what he was saying was, by the time Naby Keita was actually kind of fitting at his best for Liverpool, Klopp, to the eye, was playing the same type of football, but he was playing a completely different type of football. And the role that he had earmarked for Keita didn't exist in the team anymore. Not that Keita shouldn't have been a good player or whatever, but he was saying, literally, he wanted a player, and he ended up waiting 2 years for that player.
Right.
And by the time Keita was back in, we had changed little things and little bits and pieces in what we were doing. So he was no longer like what he was going to be, the fulcrum of what Klopp was doing. He discovered different players and slightly different ways of doing things. So the setup and he wouldn't have bought Keita to bring into that team, but then he had him. So he was saying that was what killed the whole thing. Was Klopp wanted him day one, because he said, I know what I need him to do. I need him to do it tomorrow. And a year later, it was okay. Yeah, no, well, actually, I've got this other thing going on, and these guys are doing well in this situation. Oh, and then he's out for 8 months anyway. Then he comes back, and it's by the time he's actually kind of in the team, it's almost like there's a different role to be played. I always thought that was very interesting. It never really gets mentioned, but it was just someone that he said, look, Klopp just wanted him day one. 2 years later, he was a different player he needed, and it wasn't Naby Keita.
Yeah.
I always found that really kind of just enlightening a little bit.
Yeah. Let me bring in some of these comments here. Although Keita has played 178, he has played 178 this year for his country, Realism Jared said. Burnett says, I looked at his stats when he played for us. His career was amazing at the start. Then he gradually got injured and his goals were minimal compared to his previous teams. And Steven says, not Naby, one of the players fans pick on no matter if they are good or bad. Curtis Jones is another player that fans love to single out.
I never really picked on Naby. I just always kind of felt disappointed that it didn't work out for him. I never felt any kind of anger or ire towards the guy. It was just one of those things that I'm not saying sitting here, tearing my hair, oh, what a waste of money, worst transfer ever, yada. No, we're not like that. It was a bit more like, it's just, hey, look, fair play to the guy. It just didn't work out, dude. Never made me angry or anything. It's just like, wow, I'm really disappointed that guy we broke our transfer record for didn't turn out to be any good.
Yeah,
it was just a bit of a massive letdown, really. But it just shows you, man, you can break your record, and you can go buy a guy like Andrew Robertson for $7 million, and
he's much better. Yeah, exactly, Brian.
Yeah,
exactly. Who was the guy who brought Kiarte in to the club behind the scenes?
Say again?
Who was the sporting director at the club at the time when Kiarte came in?
Oh, that brought him. That I think was Edwards, wasn't it?
Edwards was early. If it was Edwards, it would have been really early Edwards. Maybe
really
late.
Early,
Yeah.
previous guy.
Yeah.
Who was it? Connolly? No, it wouldn't have been Connolly. Maybe if it was Edwards, it would have been, or very early Edwards, I'd say. But maybe there's someone else that was doing that job interim that we were forgetting about.
Yeah. He was one of the early additions to the team.
Oh, really? Yeah. That deal was done with
Quick time. Yep.
Yeah.
If that was Edwards, that would have to have been one of his first deals. So that's actually, I'm not sure, man.
I can find out. Yeah, I can find out. And also, you know what? Let me see if I can find this. Make sure I can find this article.
It was this Jimmy Woodbine guy you're talking about.
Say it one more time.
Who's this Jimmy Woodbine guy Chris is talking about?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, that's apparently, so I'll bring this up for you guys. Apparently, David Woodfine is apparently being brought in as our assistant sporting director to work under Richard Hughes.
Okay.
I don't know too much about Woodfine, to be honest with you. I'd have to do research on him.
David Woodfine. Sure.
Norm was at, he says he was at Anfield when Keita came on versus West Ham, his debut, and his performance was brilliant.
That's Norman. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Norm's been at all the games.
I'm sure he's seen a lot of debuts. I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I cannot. For some reason, this story is not. Let me make sure I get the story up here for you. I'm gonna look for the story again because there was a story that I had on here that I wanted to talk about as well. Considering that, you know, one of the things that was trending was the reports about Diaz being shopped, or not shopped, but Diaz being courted by PSG, and also even possibly the fact that his agent, Diaz's agent, apparently had a lunch meeting with Barca actually just recently. So these reports of Diaz possibly moving on after this, possibly at the end of this year, are still lingering, despite the fact that he's signed to 2027. So that puts all the leverage in Liverpool's hands as to what the future of Diaz is. I'll find this.
White puffer coats don't come cheap.
What's that? Say one more time.
Those designer white puffer coats, they don't come cheap.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find this story for you.
But also, he's not just Diaz's agent. So there can be that. Like, I'm sure he was talking about him, but you mean if every time someone's agent sat down with someone, I mean,
I'm just reporting what's in the story.
No, I know. I'm just saying out loud so I'd say there won't always be something in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I reckon he is talking to. He's like he wouldn't be doing his job if he wasn't going around and just saying, "Oh, okay, I sat down with these guys and we're not trying to do anything here, but they'd be happy to offer you this. They'd be happy to do that." You know, that's his job as an agent, is to keep him informed of all of his best options.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, this is what agent sits down with Barcelona. Yeah, if it was,
I'll read you the quote.
Yeah, if it was Trent's agent, or if it was Alisson's agent, or if it was something, I'd be a little bit more concerned. This doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it was like, here's what it says. It says, earlier this week, news broke that PSG was exploring a move for Diaz as a potential replacement for Kylian Mbappe. With this move to Real Madrid seemingly
they don't do these guys any favors, do they? They don't do it. They could have just said they're looking at him. They could have left out as a replacement for Mbappe thing. They really don't do these guys any favors.
Yeah, it doesn't help. No. And it says it comes after his agent reportedly had dinner with Barcelona chief Laporta, as well as after these less than convincing comments from Diaz's father. Luis Manuel previously hinted that his son may move as a boyhood Barca fan. Quote, there was never anything serious with Real Madrid or Atletico. Liverpool were always more determined and concrete to sign Luis. We haven't lost our hopes yet. Luis is playing well, and Spanish clubs are always active in the market, unquote. Luis Diaz's contract at Anfield runs until 2027, meaning Liverpool are in a decent spot to negotiate with PSG should their interests culminate in a formal offer. So the reason why I looked at this story, though, was because Mascherano had commented on the situation as well. Javier Mascherano, definitely somewhat beloved by some, some not so high on Mascherano, I guess, but considering he did leave the team, but I think he's pretty. What is he? Would you say he's a cult hero, or he's not a legend, right? So
yeah, cult hero, yeah, just
cult
about,
hero,
yeah.
right?
I'd have him up above.
You have him up above that. You have him. Well, like I guess is icon over cult hero in your minds, or is it below? I don't know.
No, he's a great Liverpool player.
Great player. While in Colombia, Mascherano and Carlos Pollo, his former Barcelona teammate, have been chatting with a number of local media sources. Mascherano, who is now the manager of the Argentina under-23s, revealed that Diaz is the kind of player that Liverpool like, and that Diaz is also benefiting from the play style currently present. Quote, he is a great player, very decisive, especially when it comes to playing in one-on-one duels. The truth is that I think he has arrived at a team that fits him just right. If there is something that Liverpool have, if there is something that Liverpool have, is that they love players like Diaz who leave everything on the field and have that strength and leave everything on the field. That's why I think he fits right when he has arrived. He says, I told him to, Jurgen Klopp once famously said, I told him, stay here and they will end up building a statue in your honor. Go somewhere else, to Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and you will be just another player. Here you can be something more. That's what Jurgen Klopp told Diaz when they were courting him to stay, or courting him to come to Liverpool. What's so funny?
I know why Brian's laughing.
Well, I know, Brian. What's up?
No, it's fine.
Is it about? Oh, you're just thinking that is the Jurgen Klopp comment?
No,
I thought you said that to Coutinho. No,
I'm just reading the comments. I'm sorry, Stephen. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Look,
No.
I mean, Stephen has been saying that some of us fans,
He did say
him
that
is
to
directed
Coutinho.
at us,
Mhm.
is that we have short memories and we have selective memories, and that we're picking on Naby Keita, and that he played when we beat Man United 5-0.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so he played when we played, and he played the through ball for us to score a goal in the World Cup Championship. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So that means that the 57 million club record fee that we spent on Naby Keita, which he spent 3/4 of a Liverpool career on the bench, not playing, being utterly irrelevant, being a drain on the wages, we're being us fans that are saying that it was a failed transfer are wrong, because we've forgotten that. Like, you're saying that fans have selective memory. You've just given the definition of selective memory by picking two individual performances. One was an assist and one was a game. That's two games in his entire career. To say that I'm wrong, or that I'm having a selective memory. You've just picked out his entire Liverpool career. You picked two games.
How are we back to Naby? No, we're on.
Because I'm talking to Stephen. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh, I
talking to
know,
Stephen.
I know.
So I'm just saying, because
Yeah.
because he deleted his previous comments. He deleted his previous comments where
That's
he
cool.
said that.
He's
so
just
I'm just
defending
defending myself.
a player
Yeah,
that
and I'm defending myself. You picked out two
Yeah.
games, Stephen. You've picked
Yeah,
out two games to defend the guy that was here for what, 4 or 5 years, and you're accusing other people of having a selective memory. You've decided to forget the whole other massive part of his career where he was injured at Liverpool.
No, I get what he's just defending
He
I
only
his.
know.
has
He,
8
You're
million.
defending your side of the
oh,
story,
he
and
can
he's defending his.
don't worry.
I'm
Don't
not.
worry,
I'm not.
Stephen.
Yeah, I'm
Stephen
just
can
saying.
stand up for himself, man. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Stephen can stand up for himself.
yeah.
His
There's
goal
no
against
doubt
Crystal
it
Palace.
unfortunately was a failed transfer. Yeah, he was a failed transfer. I mean, like, for that kind of money, unfortunately, a lot of times, you don't as a player pick what it is that you're going to do with your money, or not your money, but with your transfer price. But I mean, unfortunately, it gets tied to you no matter what you do. JK is going to have to be parting with us. I know. So we will we'll make a quick little stop at the airport here, allow for JK to leave, but we're going to continue on as well. So thank you for joining us today, JK.
Sorry, boys. Take care, guys.
Definitely.
See you later, man.
Yeah. It is something to say. I thought that the DS information and Mascherano saying what he did was kind of interesting. The guy's on 55,000, signed up to 2027. It's sort of like, what was very, very interesting is I heard and let me see if I do have that. I have a cool graphic, and give me a second, guys, because I will pull up the graphic for you. It's an interesting graphic because it's something that I know that that Brian will enjoy the fact that I'm bringing it up. But it is an interesting graphic. Give me 1 second to find where I put the graphic, actually, or hopefully I have the graphic. But it's one of those cases where, 2020, 2027, there's a lot that we're going to have to do. And what's Chris saying? Endo might have more better performances than Naby, and Endo has only been here for like half a year, and that's saying something. That is, yeah, that is, Naby could play DM, and even though he could play the 8 or the DM, and Naby, but I'm not going to get twisted. Naby has had some, he has had some good performances other than just the 2 games.
He was a box to box. He could do it, but his job was to get it, run, dribble past people, get on the end. You could see him do it. Look back at what he used to do. He was a terrier. He was like, do you remember Edgar Davids or something? He'd get the ball, he'd win it. Like, he wasn't some deep line playmaker. He was all action. He ran forward. He could beat people. Yeah, he could do. He looked like the perfect. You could see that's why he looked like the perfect Klopp player.
Yeah,
but hey, look. Anyway, we're enough.
Enough with Naby. Yes, let's move on from Naby. Naby's not even a part of our team anymore. I just thought it was an interesting story that that it came up in the headlines that he had refused. It was a very similar situation. Oh, TK, big up, TK. It was a very interesting situation to hear, very similar to Sancho, to Jadon Sancho, but in the sense of it's a he said, she said thing, as Brian was speaking on about, who do you believe in this case? It's a situation where the player says, I didn't say that, and the team saying, yes, you did, and now you're suspended for the entire rest of the season. That's a very, very troubling situation for him, to say the least.
And I'm sure they're like, it's not like there's only 2 games left or something like this. They probably still got a lot of points and bits and pieces to play for. So very unusual. Yeah, Barcelona just scored there anyway.
I have a question too. If you this was a not a quote. This was a Twitter's take. I don't know what it's called. I think it's like an X statement or something. I don't know what they call it now since it's
Hi,
called X.
TK.
Oh yes, big up. Yes, definitely big up. No, we're not on. We're moving on. We're moving on. There was a. I'll put this in here. There was this quote on Twitter where basically it said, let me pull this up here, and it said basically Antonio Conte's Spurs after 32 games had 60 points and plus 22 goal differential. Ange's Spurs after 32 games have 60 points and a plus 16 goal differential. He was trying to say that they were better off with Conte than they are with Ange. Do you agree with that state? Is that like a wild statement?
Look,
this is for Spurs at least.
Ask a Spurs fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And then ask 1,000 Spurs fans.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you find one that says I prefer Antonio Conte to like the shit that he used to serve up.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you'd be going far and wide to find someone who forget the freaking. It was the same with when like I've always said, Spurs are one of those clubs who don't really ever win anything or expect to win anything, but they do expect to have good attacking football. You know, they don't see any need to play defensive football. They've always had great players, flair players, Genoa, Hoddle, all these guys. That's just their thing. That's what they do. So, you know, you don't have to win stuff, but, you know, at least play good football doing it. Conte didn't win anything, played horrible football. You know, so if you were to, like, I know if you were probably, he had Harry Kane. You know, if you throw Harry Kane into this Postecoglou team, I wouldn't say they'd be on this few points. You know, if you had Harry Kane instead of Richarlison, I think you'd have a lot more points now. You know, they just would. Like Harry Kane has already scored at a rate that even Lewandowski never managed at Bayern Munich. Yeah, look, they're not winning the league, but forget about that. Just you stick him in any Harry Kane fit for a season in the Premier League, still guarantees you probably 20 goals. But yeah, they love Postecoglou. They love watching it. You offer them Conte tomorrow. Oh, God. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants Conte football. Apart from Chelsea, they liked it because he wins immediately. You know, they liked it because he came in, he won straight away. Yeah. Like, if you were offered the choice tomorrow, we're like Klopp is going, there's only 2 managers left on the market. The only 2 are Postecoglou and Conte. Who are you taking? Yeah. No doubt. I mean, there's not. I think from what you see with the difference in relationship with the fans and with, you know, with the and the just the PR at least, you know, Conte was doing mad. I don't know what he was, you know, thinking with some of the comments that he would make and some of the angles he was taking. And I mean, it's not like Conte wasn't getting paid. He was getting paid very well. So, like, him figuring out his next move or figuring out, oh, well, maybe I could have a paid 3-year or 2-year or however many years were left on his contract holiday, you know, basically by, you know, saying some of the more outrageous comments, I would say. That is what it is. I agree. To even hint that the Spurs were better off with Conte than they are with Ange is a silly take. Is this true from what Chris is saying, by the way? Barcelona fans attack own bus believing it to be carrying PSG? I don't know. That sounds like something.
Crazy. That is pretty crazy if that's the case. I just don't understand what's going on with some of what's happening in football is just outrageous with some of the things that are happening today. The attitudes and such. Let me see. This was a topic that was was
Waiting.
trending as well. I'm gonna put this up. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Chris is saying is he's looking at the video right now. Wow, of them attacking the bus at least.
It's AI, man. It's AI.
Allegedly attacking the bus. I don't know. Did I say that?
No,
What
I
you trying
just
to say?
said it's no. I said it's AI. I'm just making a joke about everything being.
Oh, it's AI. It's AI. I got you. I heard you now. Yeah. So this was something that was trending. Make this bigger, make the image bigger for you guys. This is trending. Some huge decisions for Klopp this week. Meaning, he says Jurgen Klopp faces Liverpool midfield revamp and easy solution to new injury. We're going to be facing a team that beat us 3-0 this week. That same team that we're facing, isn't some juggernaut in the sense of they're invulnerable or they just are on some incredible form or run of their own. Right now, they could be possibly, vulnerable. What is your midfield three, Brian? And tell me in the chat, what is your midfield going into this next game? Because basically what this picture is somewhat trying to insinuate or suggest is that, Cujo, at least that's what I affectionately call him. Cujo was, or could be possibly one of the players that is replaced for this upcoming match. What is the chat? Tell me in the chat, who is your midfield? And Brian, I'm going to ask you the same question. What is your midfield for the next fixture that we have?
That's actually a difficult one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how fit some of these guys are.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, like.
What would you? How about this? Klopp rings you on the phone and says, "Hey, Brian, I don't care if it means us changing to a 4-4-2, or it's us changing, or us, bringing in players off the bench and making them a starter for this game, or everyone's fit, all relative, like everyone that's fit now has." Is fit enough to play. Okay, not necessarily saying you could bring out Thiago or something like that. That's why I say that. Who is your midfield, or what do you do with the midfield? I know Klopp's not going to make a change and go 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, blah blah blah. I get that. Before we go, we're just doing it in a in a dream scenario, in the sense of what would you do if you had to suggest a solution for Klopp going forward?
Well, the thing about this is he can't be looked to be seen to be thrown in the towel. Right. And if I was saying you could potentially just say you were trying, if you could get away with it and you didn't want to risk anything, or you could go with a Jones, Gravenberch, Elliott, or well, you couldn't go with that, but you go with something like that. But I don't think he can be seen to throw in the towel. I think he has to be seen to have a go with this. I don't think he can really do anything other than Endo McAllister +1. And he can probably make his changes in the front three, which people will be happy to see, and it wouldn't be seen as dropping some of the big boys just to accommodate new players. I think he has to go relatively strong, because he can't be seen to throw a bunch of kids out there where everyone's going, oh, well, he's just throwing this game then.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Chris Angel, look at what Chris Angel just did. That's very, very interesting.
What did Chris Angel do? Yeah, he's not doing that.
Yeah, put up on the screen for you.
But Sedic doesn't have any minutes in his legs, man. He hasn't kicked the ball. He's not going to start in Atlanta.
Right. He's going under the pretense of what I said, in the sense of if you're training.
If you're thrown in the towel, that's your thrown in the towel. That's your we've given up on this game midfield. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but has someone told us that we are actually going to win the league? We can't afford to say, okay, we're 3-0 down. We're probably not going to come out with this with anything. But, You can't go out there on the field with, kindergarten FC. It's got to be strong.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Elliot Endo Mac. Yeah, I that's actually, it's about right. Like it'll be
Right. If you're
Endo
going to
and
stick with the,
Endo Elliot or Mac Elliot, and I don't think Jones because he hasn't been great. Maybe it could be Gravenberch.
it means that, it also means
Maybe it
that
could be
you're
Gravenberch.
now. Would you play? And this is a question too for the chat because I'm open to everyone. I'm going to bring up everyone's suggestions for the midfield. And again, this is you being
Could be
the
Sabazza.
coach. If you want to switch it into which TK said he would switch it from a 3 into a 3-5-2, then cool. Tell me who your 5 midfielders would have been. I know that's not going to be most likely the case that he goes to a 3-5-2. That's very unlikely. That's even less, probably more unlikely than the bet that we were talking about in the backstage there of a 3-way tie. But like,
Yeah, Bradley's out.
yes,
Out for the
Bradley's
season.
out for the season. Bradley is out for the season, by the way. Elliot, Endo, Mac. Would you play Mac on the right and try Elliot on the left? I know there was a conversation being had about switching it up to and I was reading about Elliot's like ability and him having a very good left foot, and rather than having him on the right side, possibly have him on the left side
of a midfield 3.
Yeah,
that really doesn't matter that much to me. Look, Elliot has never played in that position. He has a good left foot.
I'm not. Yeah,
no, I don't
asking
think
from what I've been reading and what people have brought up. Yeah,
he's never played in that position. I think that's overthinking a territory. You just get the 3 best players on the pitch. Whether Elliot or McAllister start left and right, and I don't think that's going to be the winner of the game for us. So
yeah.
Sorry.
I just look at some of these, Brian. Though, look at some of these suggestions. Very interesting. McAllister, Gomez, and Dom from MK Toe is his selection.
That doesn't work.
I assume he's putting Gomez in the DM role, and then having Mac on the left and Dom on the right, or I guess that is because I'm assuming considering it's Mac listed first. Yeah. And that's why I was asking about the TK when he said Elliot, Endo, Mac, meaning like Elliot, Mac, and then Elliot, Endo, and then Mac on the right. Yeah, some of these are crazy though. Like not crazy, but I mean like it's just definitely different. It's different because I think a lot of people have been suggesting that we go with our strongest lineup. Coming in, like you go with your strongest lineup, you give it a run, and you do what you just said. Not show that you're just throwing in the flag, throwing in the white towel, I guess you could say. Or
throwing in the towel, you could say.
Yeah,
you could use the universal phrase.
Yeah. There you go. What was your 3 again? What was your 3?
Oh, I just said it's the 2 boys plus 1, but I don't even think because Chris is saying it like
because
Endo is I
yeah.
don't know if he's right. Like, and if he's not right, I don't want him starting. But we don't have another DM. We don't. McAllister, look, we have we have people who can play the position. That's a very different story. We don't have another DM. Even if Bajsedic was fit and ready to go, you'd be talking about a kid who isn't an out-and-out DM. He's a centre half. Learning to be a midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So if Endo the Destroyer is ready to go, then you get him out there. Because like I said, you put the same 11 out there hypothetically and say, go and fix what you did. Go and clean your mess up. Right. But I think a couple of them kind of, that Palace game finished that from. I don't think Núñez can be considered to start. I honestly, if he does, I don't know. Like what he has to do to get dropped now at this stage and Gakpo to get a shout or Jota to get a shout. I just don't know. Mo will start. I'm sure Mo
Yeah,
will
it's almost
start.
a given that Mo will
starts.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diaz. Give me Gakpo and Jota over Diaz and Nunes. Give me a strong midfield.
That's a good point.
And Kwanzaa VVD, Trent and Robbo and Ali. That's just off the top of my head.
It goes to why I say though, why I'm asking. I'm trying to give everyone the opportunity to play, their own, their own manager, I guess, their own version of what they would do as a manager, and not just thinking, oh, what is Klopp going to do? Just saying, of what would you like to do? This is your opportunity for you to say what you would like to see. But I also know that, Jurgen has changed it up. He's not as committed to being quote unquote loyal to some of the players that he normally would just be. It wouldn't even be a hesitation, as to who gets the start in such a case. But I'm just trying to think outside the box or just see what people.
If Jota doesn't start tomorrow, I'll be dumbfounded. I'll just.
Oh yeah, Diego starts. Diego
he
starts.
Has to, or not tomorrow.
He has
Thursday,
to start. He almost has to start. Yeah, and considering he played against this is a team that he played well against when we did actually play them in that 5-0 win.
I don't know how true it is, but I was worried when red card in the Barca game.
We got a red card.
I think it's Kubarsi, the young Barca player. But Klopp said in the pre-match press conference, and I'm not sure if this is true, I think it is, that he predicted or talked about how Atalanta. Now, I know he gets things mixed up, and maybe he meant to talk about Palace or maybe whatever. But he said that Atalanta were going to play in a low block. It's not Kubarsi that we get sent off, and that they were, anticipating a low. I mean, anybody that's watched Gasperini for any amount of time will know he just that was never going to happen. That was a little bit concerning to me. Maybe it was a snippet because, Klopp will be talking about something and he'll remember, whoa, I didn't mean that game, I meant that game, or something like that. But that was a bit, that was worrying to me that he came out and said that, because that's like, expecting, I don't know, not Man City, obviously, but some team that never plays defensive football. Well, obviously they're going to play defensively this weekend because that's what they always do, kind of thing. No. It was Arujo, is it? Araujo. Yeah, he got sent off. Well, he's still on the pitch. He's refusing to leave, by the way. He thinks that he can change the ref's mind, apparently. But now he's fine. He got sent off about 5 minutes ago. He's only walking off now.
Oh crap!
He's been arguing
he needs to be
for a
careful.
while.
Yeah.
But no, he's finally gone
even
off.
if they do advance, I mean, like, it could be, if he does mess around like that, he can end up, jeopardizing the next game after that. Even not only the next game, but the next game after that. I mean, if he takes too long to get off the pitch.
Yeah, well, it wasn't going to be any kind of violent foul or anything, so it was just a last man thing.
It was a straight red, or was it 2 yellows?
No, it was a straight red, but it was only last man thing. It wasn't a violent thing.
I got
like
you.
If it was violent conduct, it'd be 3 matches. If it's straight red, it's not violent conduct. It's only 1 game. It's like your last man. You took him down outside the box.
Oh well, then especially then.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get adding stuff to it. Like,
yeah, you're just adding stuff to it. If you're delaying the game and you're still mouthing off to the referee, or possibly even if you are defending yourself, he jeopardizes that. Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. Here's speaking of Klopp, then let me bring up this here. This is a quote by Gary Neville. He says this is quote, he still thinks Jurgen Klopp is getting the very best out of this Liverpool team and this Liverpool squad. And what we are now seeing is probably what they are. And they have overachieved to this point.
See, I knew it was a dig. I knew when he said like that Jurgen Klopp was going to do, I was like, okay, this is definitely like a pretend.
You're like getting
fake
ready for it. You're like,
compliment.
you're bracing for it. You're bracing for it. You're
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
holding pattern intact.
Yeah. Where's the real hit coming from? You know?
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. In classic Neville style.
Well, I heard it last night. Oh, one league title in 9 years. It's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, please, come on, please. You know, even if you want to, talk, but you're talking about, right, year one. When did year one begin?
Mm-hmm.
October.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Came in mid-season. Not right mid-season, but transfer window had closed. You know, someone else's team taking him over in a way that he would never do. No preseason, nothing.
Yeah.
No, nothing. Gets to January, brings in Stephen Coker on loan. That's it.
Yep.
So that's year one of the 9. So basically, you've got then the second year will be year one of trying to build a team that had finished 8th, a bad, poor team, not a team that just finished second or was full of stars. No, a really pretty shitty Liverpool team. And so that's what it takes you at least, 1 year to get rid of your Balotellis, your Lamberts, your, the dross, the poor players, trying to eventually, you get a Mane and then you get, you start things. So I give that at least, that's year 2. And then to get that, so I'd say the first 3 years should be written off. No one was ever predicting Liverpool to win a title in any of those 3 years.
Right.
So you're talking about, to me, 1 league title in 6 years, and then, he should have won more. Okay, well, then look at the points totals. And like losing a league by 1 point to a record total, losing the league by a couple points to a record total, all this stuff. Underachieved if you're to look just pure numbers wise. Oh, well, you had all this money and all this time. You only got 9 years, only 1 league. Oh, but look at all the cups. League title and the Champions League.
Yeah, and people act as if he's done.
Come on.
That's the only thing he's actually done. That's really, disingenuous, I think, to say the least. If you think that, he's only since in his 9 years he's only won 1 trophy or 2 trophies.
Yeah, and what were those? What were the? Okay, say two. Okay, only 2 major trophies. Okay, what were they? Our first Premier League title in 30 years, a Champions League, and also another Champions League final appearance, which Arsenal fans would rip your right arm off for. Consistent, 3 league cups, FA Cup. I'm not really sure what I'd like how you can say, like, but then he'll turn around and say, "Oh, Man City, oh, they're unbelievable. Oh, they're brilliant. Oh, they're okay. Well, how did Klopp? Why was Klopp such an honor if he didn't beat this team that you're just standing there like jacking off over?"
Okay, that's one way to put it. Okay, yeah, very true.
If he's underachieved, what the hell have Man United been doing for the last 20 years? If Klopp's been underachieving,
I think what he does, and he does it very well at times, is, and you see it a lot of times when you get into conversations with especially with other teams, and a lot of Manchester United greats are very prevalent as being the pundits on a lot of these stations or channels out there, but you see a lot of deflecting. You see a lot of the kind of they say some negative things. I'm not going to hold back and say that Neville hasn't said things against, the Glazers or against, the performances by the team, the United and everything else. But sometimes you do, when you hear comments, like if you were to tell me which would you which coach and which road of success would you have would you have taken Klopp as a Manchester United coach, and would you have been content or at least appreciative if he had given you what has given the Reds in that 9-year span? I think Neville would say yes.
Uh-huh.
He most likely, in his heart, he would say yes. In his mind, he probably would say no, just to get clickbait. But all the same, that's Gary Neville. Gary Neville is a well. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, I think.
Oh, he certainly does. He knows how to maintain. Oh God, sorry. He knows how to maintain a career in the media.
Yeah.
He knows pretty much how to play the game with Sky Sports.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be at the beginning when him and Carragher would, and he still can be when he wants to be, just talking about a game, a really good, I don't even like calling him a pundit, more like a video analyst. Like him and Carragher, when it first started, before everything became 20-second clips that needed to go up on Twitter. And, it was all about, that clippable moments from, and then what obviously seems to be some 14-year-old running Sky Sports Twitter account, basically putting them up and then covered it in crying, laughing emojis. Like literally as if in the way it would be retweeted by a 15-year-old. That was the way Sky Sports tweet their own content. But anyway, it used to be really, really good when they'd break down the game on the Monday night, because they had, I think, about 3 or 4 hours because it was Monday Night Football. It's Sky Sports. They don't need to break for anything else. So they had plenty of time. And they were that was kind of a little bit revolutionary, a bit groundbreaking, because what it did was really clever in terms of, if it had been Neville, all the Liverpool fans wouldn't have watched it because they just, we hate Gary Neville.
Right.
If it had been Carragher, all the United fans wouldn't have watched it because we hate Jamie Carragher. By putting the two of them on together, everyone had to watch it.
Yeah.
It was very, very, and they were really good because they took it really seriously.
Yeah,
and they broke down what actually
happened.
And
they have even a rivalry between the two of them as well.
Yeah, and it's friendly as well. You can see obviously they need to get on, but they did change the game a little bit when they came on, and all the stuff that they were using, and the analysis was really, really good, and that's why people liked them. But now they're just media personalities as much as everyone else. It goes that way. There'll be another Neville.
It's smart. It's smart. I mean, Paramount does it for Paramount is the company that covers it here.
Daniel Sturridge is a great pundit player. Daniel Sturridge is a brilliant pundit. He looks.
I know that he got the gig.
People are talking about the way he looks because he's so flamboyantly dressed. He looks like
and everything.
And all the kind of military style clothes. Very Michael Jackson-esque kind of look he's got going on, or all black and all that. No one talks about, but like people were talking about that all the time. But then I've seen people saying like, everyone's banging on about Daniel Sturridge, how he looks, but no one's talking about how he's probably one of the best pundits working on TV today. Like the guy's not a spoofer. He knows his stuff. He's well read. Researched.
Yes, he's good football IQ.
He's not just there for to check. He actually he can offer something. That's all fans want.
Yeah.
All fans want is just that for these guys, like you're famous ex-footballers, know the game. Tell us something we can't see with our own eyes. Yeah. We don't need a pundit going, he'll be disappointed to miss that one, Jeff. Oh, thanks.
Brilliant deduction.
Yeah, thanks very much. Guy that scored 400 goals for Barcelona.
Right.
Could you break it? Like you're on telly. There are other people who would like your job that will. There's nothing better than the next pro that knows his stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Breaking it down for you. And like that's great to see him doing that, because he didn't have the best reputation when he left the game. He's a bit of a, whatever. He didn't have him to come up and get the gig on Sky. But again, it's unfortunate that immediately all people were talking about was the way he was dressed and how he looked. It's like, come on, get over it, guys. He's a young, fashionable guy. Like, what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy. I was really, really happy for him. So, and I said as much. Question to me: how do you rate ESPN? Ooh.
Someone else had a question earlier. I'm going to scroll back.
Yeah,
Find
I saw it. I saw it. This one. How do you rate ESPN?
And
As far as ESPN in general, or ESPN FC, which is like the football side of ESPN, I like ESPN. I know what they're doing. They're doing very similar concept. They have like your Craig Burley, obviously Stevie Nichols, Shaka is on there. Trying to think of some of the other pundits that they have on there.
they have Craig Burley. They have
yeah.
The other guy, the big noisy guy, bald guy, shaved head guy. What's his name?
Oh, the Venezuelan guy.
Is he the ex-American keeper? Tim Howard. Tim Howard's on there, isn't he? Is
that no, Tim Howard. No, they have Casey Keller.
Casey Keller, that's why.
Yeah.
Casey Keller. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a maybe that's a thing that they have to do. Like, apparently, some of our, at least back in the day,
gotta have a keeper.
American keeper. But I just meant like I just thought about that when you said bald head. I'm like, Casey had a bald head. Tim Howard had a bald head.
Tim Howard, yeah.
Shoot, I'm gonna go blank on his name.
Brad Friedel.
Friedel, yes. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, Friedel had a bald head. Yeah, that was like a thing, I guess. I don't know if all of them are going.
It's the stress of being a goalkeeper, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Pepe had a bald head too, but really, I'm just talking about American keepers.
And Norman was saying, in 2021 season, last season, and this moment, and this moment in time, we showed signs of fatigue. Question: how do we now handle this? How does Klopp handle this? Is it rotate or settled side power thoughts?
Let me see what. I don't know if you can start a question or not, but I think you can. But
no, I can't. I can't do anything. I can only block.
Norm asked it. I'm gonna pull. Let me make sure I see the question.
They used to give you the time on these things, but they're
yeah, I see the time on it for me. That's why I don't.
Yeah. No, that's way back there. It's before Stephen deleted all. Stephen just deleted all his messages, but it looks like
it's all good. It's all good.
It's beyond. It's right at the top of where his ones were. But it just said in 2021.
In 2021, this one. Okay. In 2021 season, last season, and this season, in time, we showed signs of fatigue. Question: how do we now handle this? How does Klopp handle this? Is it rotation or settled side? Panel thoughts. That's a very, very good question, and it was something that I was going to bring up too as well. Norm, always big up Norm. This beer is on the house for us, I think that you just basically go with you stop the whole like let's try to keep everyone rotated, let's try to keep everyone this and that. I personally would like us just to say, hey, let's put our best lineup out there and let's get what we can get. And when it comes to asking for others to provide relief to those players, have them step up and be those players that we need them to be. That's just my personal take, at least. If I hope that is clear with what I'm trying to say, at least.
I don't think you have much room for rotation now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Other than where we're lucky to have maybe one or two. I mean, we've lost.
And what I'm showing now too is the remaining games that we have in the Prem, at least. This is the remaining games in the Prem.
Yeah. No, we've lost Bradley, which I think maybe more costly than we might believe in terms of what it allows us to do, where we can save some minutes, who we can bring in and out. Like, because if you were able to bring, if you had Trent back, say from the Atlanta game, starting every game, and
Mhm.
then Bradley is back on the bench, coming on for the last however long he can come on for.
Mhm.
Now we don't really even have that
You
option.
don't
If we
have
want
that.
to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we want to rest Trent, or we need to rest Trent.
Yeah.
We got to do something with Gomez. So we're a bit, kibosh that way. I'd like to give rest to some like Endo, who people are saying are injured, looks injured. McAllister maybe, but at this business end of the season, it's like you picked the wrong time to rest the wrong players. So
And it could cost you the league.
you've got to have the boys coming in, passing fit.
Right.
If there's anything that might be a problem, that they
Mhm.
get passed by the medical guys, and then they say to you, you got to trust them. They say, look, I can do this, I can't do this. You got to get the manager to make the right call. But ideally at this stage, see, this Atalanta game, I mean, come on, lads. This is an absolute nightmare to have to try and do this, because it's in
You're
no
gonna
way
pull out.
what.
You're gonna be pulling out a lot from the reserve
Yeah,
tank.
exactly. There's you've got to go full bore at this,
Mm-hmm.
but also you're looking at it going, is it worth trying to win this? Because we're probably going to lose it if they score one. We're kind of we're half done then. So how do we play this? This is a nightmare for a manager to have to try and go, right, look, can you give me 90 minutes? Can you give me 90 minutes? And then you're looking at, we
It
have
happened.
now
It happened this week.
four,
It happened, Brian, too. By the
yeah,
way, just to
four
interject.
consecutive away games.
Yeah, I was
Look
gonna
at
say
it.
real quick, like guys, and I know Bradley got injured, and that's the reason why we did see Trent. But wait, I mean, double check too. There was a play. I remember someone was mentioning about how like in the game we got certain amount of minutes out of this player or that player, and I'm like, it's because of circumstances that we're getting these minutes from these players, as in like, I don't think I think that Trent was on the bench, yes, but do I think that he had the intentions of playing Trent for as long as he did? I don't think so.
Think so.
Like
I don't
I
think so
know there
either.
was a question about, for instance, like I know there was a question about like Curtis or even Diaz. Well, Diaz has played a lot of minutes lately, a lot of minutes.
Oh,
There was the question of like Endo's been brought up as well. Like as in, there's some people that have been the number of minutes that we've seen some of these guys play. It's not because we want them to play 90 minutes. It's because they somewhat have to play 90 minutes because the selections and options that you're going to be going with might not.
but who do you?
A
What
better.
What do you do if Endo isn't there? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that you can't just do that straight away. You have to change so many other things. Then you don't know what to do.
Bring Gomez, I guess, or maybe you put Curtis Jones in that.
Okay.
And if you're doing that, I know we have a little bit of a track history with Gomez being playing that sixth role, but it's not like he was pulling up trees.
No, but you're talking about games you need to win. We're talking about like, how can we do like smart little clever little things to win? Like I want to go out there. I want to go to Atlanta with a fit Endo, McAllister, and Sabozlai.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. I want us to go there and put just go and try and win that game with our best players, all fit. I don't think we're getting. Yeah, I don't think we have a right to pick and choose our competitions now. We've seen what happens at Old Trafford. So this is a competition. This is a game. This is in front of us. If it goes our way, if it doesn't go our way, I'm not going to look. If we go strong in this, right, let's just say, and we don't win, but McAllister gets injured,
I saw this too.
So I'm not going to blame Klopp for going strong in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know I say, oh, I'm not going to look after the game and say, oh, well, we lost the season because he played Endo or he played such and such, and then they got injured. We kind of have to go for this game, even as ridiculous and stupid as it sounds. Thinking, oh, typical Liverpool fans, thinking they can go there and win. Well, what else are we supposed to think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what else we can do, but it's a horrible managerial call to try and pick a team for this, and with one eye on Fulham and all of the rest of it. But again, like we say, that's why he gets paid the big bucks, right?
Yeah. It is why he gets paid the big bucks. Bring up some of these and I was just responding to Hylor's comment there because they did just draw at Atlanta did just draw two. They were up 2 in the game in their Italian sided game and ended up drawing that game 2-2, I believe. And there was also a comment here from Realism Jarrett that said, all teams are fatigued at this time of the season. What we are seeing is pressure that makes the players' legs heavy. That's a good point. And brain cells go on loan. Yeah, no doubt. That's a very good point. You know, when pressure hits, all of a sudden those legs do get a lot more heavier than normal. And it's a matter of, do you have the reserve to the resolve, the reserve to make it happen. He was also saying that because they played that fixture, they have 1 day less rest than us. Okay, which is good.
And 3
It'd be good to
more.
see that, like Stefano has as a 1-4 win, in that we win on pens. That'd be cool. I'll take that. I would take that. It also means that we would go to extra time though, which would kind of be a little bit of a pain in the butt. This season is also special because of the new rules. Each match lasts longer, and you can see in many cases over 100 minutes. That's why Premier League made new records in injuries. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I was saying.
When you add it up, especially with the second halves, the way they're not messing around because it's all it's substitutions and all of that. I reckon if you add it up at the end of the season, you'll see a big difference.
Yeah. I was just going to answer this on the chat, but I'll just answer this directly now. Honestly asks, can someone tell him how can Barca produce so much talent? I think it's a number of reasons why they can. Obviously, Spain is a very talented football country in general, but Barcelona being one of the bigger cities there as well is an incredible resource to draw from. And you also have the case of the heritage that is related to Barcelona with your Ronaldinhos, and the likes, that it has allure. It has like that status that if you are able to play with this club, you could be a legend like the legends that you grew up emulating or having as role models or the such. And I think that has a big impact on a lot of those things. And also, let's not get twisted. Also, the language barriers and such are welcoming situations for a lot of players that aren't even from Spain, for instance. Like your South American countries, a lot of the talent would love to go and live in Europe, but if there's a country that they're going to go live in, it's certainly going to be a country that they feel comfortable with, in the language barriers being reduced or if not eliminated. That helps immensely. Let's be honest, because because a lot of these players are going, not only some of these players, depending on what age they go to Barcelona, if they're very young, some of these players, those decisions are being made by your family members or your parents, something along those lines. If you're like a little bit of an older player, and you're able to that stage where you make your own decisions, then it could be as simple as, your family, your wife, or you want your kids to grow up speaking in going to a Spanish speaking school, for instance, or something along those lines. It could be as simple as that. Like, guys, and you keep in mind of what is best. A lot of these players keep in mind what's best for them and their families. That's a very big factor in their decisions.
Well, what honesty is, I mean, there's a very simple 2-word answer. It's Johan Cruyff. This is why you don't just. This is why you have La Masia. La Masia is very different to what else goes on. This is where these are the boys that they're not buying. This is the production line. This is the guy that changed most of football in the 80s. What he did at Barcelona. He was the one that designed that academy, the Ajax academy, how it should work. It's the same reason Ajax continuously produce talents. It's the same reason Barcelona still have this in their DNA. He went into it and he showed how to basically build a system that would constantly produce talent. The talent will always be out there, but how to get them to go there, how to harness it, how to turn them into actual footballers. Because there's kids all out there on the street with all these crazy skills, but how to get them in and do that. He is basically, if you want to know why these things come out, you can trace it all back to Johan Cruyff, because he's the one that said you need this, because if you have that, you'll never need to always buy players. You'll always produce these talents, and then you do become. It becomes self-fulfilling then, because as soon as these kids start winning stuff, all of these kids, that's where they want to go. That's where their parents will want them to go. And then if it is a young kid that is coming from abroad, it's it's nice and hot. Just like South America, the weather's nice. Everyone speaks Spanish, unless you're Brazilian. It's the perfect place. But basically, the reason they keep doing it year after year is because of what Cruyff put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that 12th Man talked about, the way that, again, like, do you want to go and live in Barcelona for a few years? Been in Barcelona? Christ, man, what a place.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go and live in Barcelona.
Yeah. I've actually visited Barcelona. Barcelona's beautiful.
Yeah, those kids.
I've never been to Madrid, but I've been to Barcelona.
Better off going to Barca, by the beach. Madrid, there's no, it's too hot in Madrid. But that's literally it. It's like,
I'll take either. I'll take either, to be honest.
Yeah. No, but when it's 40 degrees, degrees in Madrid and you can't even see it, like it's like 3 hours to the. You want to be in Barcelona, where you can just drive down to the beach. I'm from the beach. That's me. Like my house is like 5 minutes from the sea. So I need the beach.
Mm-hmm. There was a question here from Laura, and he asked it earlier. Let me pull up this question here. It was basically asking about, like, why do you believe we are slow starters? Here it is. Why do you believe we are slow? There's one question I have never gotten an answer to. Why are we such a slow starting team? We're such slow starters.
That's a great question.
I gave an answer as I gave my personal belief. I'm sure Brian has his own concept or belief as to why, but my personal, I wrote it in the chat. I'll just repeat it for you, Brian, as well, in case you didn't see what I wrote. I said I believe we can sometimes be slow starters because we focus our attack through the right side primarily, like as in primarily a lot of the right-sided focus, and that focus is primarily on getting Salah his touches, and going through Salah so distinctly, and rather than diversifying the attack by trying to go left or trying to rather than have Salah have 75, 85 touches, and Diaz have 35, 40 touches, have it where Salah gets 40, Diaz gets 40, and then you'll try to get Nunez 40. And it's most likely the reason why I said also, when we were doing our review yesterday, and I pointed out about those numbers, for instance, that we heard that I said about how many touches, for instance, Salah, how many touches were actually I think I have it still up here. Diaz in this game, albeit he didn't play a full 90, but and Mo Salah did, but Diaz got like 28 touches. Nunez got 24 touches, and yet Salah, who did play a full 90, I understand that's why his numbers are going to be higher, with 46 touches, but that's still exceptionally low considering that normally he gets a lot more touches than that in the game. And it's just something I think if we diversify you wouldn't be able to pinpoint places and such. And also teams wouldn't necessarily be able to attack us, I believe personally, so easily on that right side, which is where they focus a lot of their attack, which is that right. They tend to focus the counters, or they tend to focus their attack against us on that right side. But that's just my conception. Do you have one?
Sounds like you want us to sell Mo Salah.
Come on, man. You got me on that. Yeah, okay. Well done. Well done. You are definitely Chris Angel today.
Well, I just heard a hell of a lot of Salah criticism.
I'm playing. Big up, Chris.
I just heard a lot of Salah criticism there.
I know I get pointed out for that. But then again,
the only name I heard there was Salah this, Salah that. No, I think it's because we're trying to control games too much. We're trying to be too controlled. We're not loose enough. We're not just going for teams. We're trying to be too clever and too smart, box clever.
Yeah.
And we're getting hit on the on the odd time that the team makes a mistake, or we make a mistake, that teams are capitalizing on it because maybe a little bit of a sloppiness at the back, but it seems like we're trying to not be, hell for leather from minute one. Let's get into games slowly, and we're not able to do it. It's, the slowly bit is there and the control bit is there a bit if you just look at possession. But other teams are there just going, okay, this is cool. Let's wait for a mistake. Let's wait for a gap. And they're able to punish us a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
So I think it's the reason we're starting slowly is because we're probably trying to start less frenetically with more control. And that's not like the last few weeks or anything, but I think that's what it's about. And it doesn't suit us. It doesn't suit Klopp. So I don't know why he's doing it. So he should just, get rid of that Linders guy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I think Alexander's comment is a pertinent one too. I've been saying that the continuity that you have on teams is important. The continuity that you have within play with the players, as in I spoke on how, our defense has at times conceded goals and obviously early goals, and it's a concern, and I'm not going to even pretend to say it's not. But it also is a concern that we can't get a cornerback pairing. You speak of my criticism of Salah. I've been somewhat critical of Konate as of late. It goes to having a center back pair that can play quite a bit, or have like some continuity between them. Actually, have some rhythm. Have some real rhythm or sharpness between them because they play together. In that back four, it would mean in my opinion, I think it would mean a great deal. Knowing that partner with you, knowing the tendencies of that partner, and knowing what to expect and everything else, yourself being that you play with them, play on the pitch, consecutively and consistently with them. I think that makes a difference too. Honesty has a question.
Well, tell it to the league, man. Tell it like you. Sorry, any center, like, look at any team that's ever won consistently. Look at any team that's ever been dominant. They'll be almost famous for their centre half pair. You have to have this. I've always. It's not me. This is what I've been growing up being told. You need a centre half pairing.
Right.
They need to. You can't have this is football basics 101. Literally basic football stuff. You need a centre half that they play together every week and they complement each other.
Right.
So when you have a manager like Klopp, he should be. Look, he can't stop playing getting injured.
Right.
But that's even across the pitch. But that's probably the most important area in the pitch in terms of, we were talking about the other day, who does Diaz have chemistry with? Oh, look, okay, bit of a lone wolf. Maybe it doesn't really matter, but it really matters between your centre halves.
It really does.
If it's Canade every second, third, fourth week, then it's Gomez. Like we saw it the other day when Van Dijk was looking around, because it's the 57th different combination of a back four he's played with this year.
Yeah.
You just can't have it. And Klopp should know this. When I'm saying Klopp knows you need that rock solid centre half partnership. And he's known Canade is injury prone. If we know it, if I've known that since I'm fucking 12, Klopp knows it. So you need these. Again, you can't predict an injury, but I just was always, we got an old injury prone player in Matip and a young injury prone player in Canade, and a guy who never gets injured in Virgil. Doesn't really work. Doesn't scream Vidic and Ferdinand, or Hansen and Lawrence, and Baresi and Maldini. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Honestly, also asked question: what's your guys' opinion on Trent saying no matter who the next manager is, he wants LT to challenge? He honestly says he likes that mentality and really loves Trent's mentality as well. I personally do like Trent, obviously, but I like the mentality that he holds. I like the fact that he's got a great influence of being a measured and dedicated leader in Virgil van Dijk, but also in himself, knowing he's had two very good leaders in Milner and Henderson, and knowing how they developed in their leadership and the tone that they set in the locker room has always been something that he could place into his own version of what he considers to be leadership. So I like the fact that he's all on board about saying, hey, this next manager, we have to, there's no placeholder manager concept. There's no, hey, let's just grow at let's start from ground zero and grow. It has to be, with the unique capabilities of this team, let's challenge, and we have the ability to challenge. So let's make the most of the talent that we have around us. So I'm all for it. Do you have an opinion, Brian?
Yeah, it's not over till it's over, So it's just like that but it's kind of the way things have landed. Just the fact that this Atalanta game is the way it is, as it's a real spanner in the works. So I don't think he really has any option really now, but at the moment, to just kind of go, yeah, look, let's just throw everything at it. Let's just see who's the best 11 players on the day of every game and just start them and just go for it, because there's not much left to lose at this stage for him, really, professionally, for any of the players. I think not overthinking things and just going out and trying to win every single game. And until someone turns around and you get back to the dressing room and go, well, they did this today, so the league's gone, or whatever. Just put your head down and plow through it.
Yeah. There's also another. I promised that we are going to be landing, but we're already on the tarmac here. but I did promise to answer these questions from Jared and Stefano as well. Question: Jared says, "Do you think if we can play Trent like a Beckham on the right on the right midfielder position, delivering or cutting back to strikers, it would work in a 4-4-2?"
In a 4-4-2, almost undoubtedly, yeah. If you see us playing a 4-4-2, though, I know we do play versions. We play 4-4-2 in defense, but that's or we play 4-2-4. But like I said from day one, I like Trent as an attacking right back, just not inverting, doing what he did. I mean, like, it's not a dead position. Like, that's where I think he's at his most effective. So I don't see why we don't. That's where I'd put him, is like, if someone wants to do inverted, if he wants to play in midfield, like, I don't know, then we have a problem.
Right.
But for me, like, if the next manager comes in, doesn't want to do some box inverted nonsense, then who knows where Trent will end up playing. But to me, can anyone tell me a better season that he had than one when he was playing as just an out-and-out attacking right back? Again, I know our tactics are a little bit different, but why not just try him there for a while?
Yeah.
But hey, look, I know things have changed. Football is more complicated than that, but maybe it doesn't need to be.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I if we're talking about, opening up a whole new, I want to say can of worms, but a whole new perspective on the team as a new manager comes on board. If they did go to, let's say, a 3-5-2 or something like that, which was offered earlier, I could see possibly, if we did that, maybe doing something where you have like an Endo as the 6, but then have on the right and on the left have of Endo have Trent and Maka as those two. It almost goes. That could be a possible, switch up. I'm not saying that's the guaranteed way of going, but that's at least a concept of saying, okay, well, if you are going to bring him in, I'm not going to rely on Trent as being, if you're going to put him on there, like in a 4-3-3, if it was a 4-3-3, or even if it was a 4-4-2, will he get sucked into being that Endo role in essence? Once again, even with a new coach, is he going to get into a point where you're not obviously going to have Trent being that kind of player, that kind of workhorse style player. You're going to want him being your creative outlet, if anything, in my own humble opinion. That's what I would at least say. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in a role if he is going to invert, or if he is going to be a part of a midfield, seeing it be a midfield that has an anchor, a defensive anchor in like an Endo, but also has options where he's not the sole creative output. You have two conceptual outputs being Maka and Trent. Then I think that in my opinion, that would make us very, very dynamic in our approach. And then there was another question as well. Oh my goodness, now I'm starting to get a lot more questions. Was the other question I said from Stefano was on here? Let me find it. I didn't start, unfortunately. So blah, blah, blah. Salah doesn't press anymore. Where was it? I know you had a question, Stefano. I promised that I would answer it. Maybe it was higher up, but let me bring down this right here, and I'll see if I can find Stefano's question. Give me 1 second. Oh, this was the question. Here it is. Would you take Rafa from Barca, the ex-Leeds, as a right wing replacement if Mo goes? I'm going to say this. This is something that I said before the AFCON break. I was very, very optimistic, and I was not only optimistic, I was looking forward to the opportunity to see Dom play right wing. I said that on the previous broadcast. I wasn't. I was. I know a lot of people know about his talents. One of the main reasons why is because I know that he does. He has played on that front line. We have seen him play once on the front line. That was a cup match, and we saw him on the left side. But and he didn't necessarily. He wasn't. It wasn't the greatest of outputs for him on that left side, but it was at least. It wasn't something where you're like, oh, we never want to do that again. But I have been interested in seeing someone emerge as a either successor or at least an option on that right wing for Salah, to give him rest, to allow for him to get for when we have those circumstances where he has to go away for international tournaments and such. We have an actual viable player that we can rely on. Personally, I would like to see Dom possibly groomed into a right wing, at least option. He can still play right mid. I'm saying he can't play right mid, but I wouldn't mind seeing him be a right wing option, primarily because the one thing that I think that Salah is starting to show his age on is his ability to utilize his pace and beat defenders in front of him with his pace. Not saying it's gone completely, but what I am saying is the reliability of going to that, as always with every player, eventually it goes. And I don't necessarily see it as one of his primary resources any longer at this, or at least in this stage of his career. And he's a brilliant enough player that he's been able to utilize other things in his game. It's something I don't want to go too far into it because this is an episode that I have coming up, but I wouldn't mind seeing him play in that role. That being Dom, play at least gives an opportunity or chance of playing on that right wing. Because if there's anything that I can say about Dom is that he does have that pace. He does have. I don't know if he has like the dribbling abilities to necessarily put someone on their back. But I will say that I would like to see that pace return to that right wing, and I think Dom can provide it with the resources that we have now. That's the long answer.
Can you check the private chat?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. If you want to give a quick answer to that before we end up wrapping this up, Brian.
So the Mo question?
The question by Stefano about the right wing.
Oh, Rafinha.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring Rafinha though. Rafinha though.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just on Rafinha as a straight up. Oh, Christ, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
If he got the one that was at Leeds, and he was motivated and he played if Mo goes, but hey, look, like you're saying, we need we've needed someone else to be able to do what he does out there for a while now. Mbappe just scored. Paris Saint-Germain are 5-4 up now in aggregate.
Wow.
Xavi Hernandez, Barcelona manager, was sent off.
Just got sent off.
So yeah, I wanted him when he was at Leeds. He was excellent. So yeah, I wouldn't say no to Rafinha, but I wouldn't be paying 100 million quid for him.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a decent amount, and he makes decent wages too. Yeah.
When he was at Leeds and he was available for 40 million, maybe, I would have taken him as an understudy to Salah. Because it would be great, but we're not that kind of club that can go out and spend 40 million on Rafinha and sit him on the bench.
Yep.
So, but someone's good. Look, when Salah leaves, be it this summer or at the end of his contract next year, then going to need someone to come in and again, not replace Mo because no one's replacing Mo, but someone will come in and play on that slot.
Mm-hmm.
Szoboszlai, again, this is like I've been saying for a while now, he's one of the players that with a new manager coming in, you have the potential to see the most different version of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the role he's playing for us now, it's almost impossible that he's going to be playing a similar role. Like, you know, our centre halves are going to be centre halves, or our right backs or our left back will be left back, you know, our striker is going to be striker. But this kind of, you know, this defensive midfield 8 role that Szoboszlai plays for Klopp, there's no chance he's going to be, because that's a purely Klopp thing.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever role he plays under the new manager is going to be at least slightly different. And like you say, we could end up seeing him playing on the left wing, the right wing,
Right.
some hybrid number 10, you know, whatever.
Right.
Or even just as a more kind of orthodox attacking number 8.
Right.
You know, but there's absolutely no chance he's going to be playing in this same kind of shackled defensive role that he has under Klopp. That ain't happening. So that's what I'm looking forward to see, like him, and again to see with any new manager, because this is basically in his entire senior career, nobody has ever managed Trent other than Klopp, apart from on international duty. But he never had another manager.
Yeah.
You know, his whole thing, his whole emergence, it's all built with Klopp. So the next guy that comes in is going to be the first manager ever out there to have to try and solve this Trent conundrum. What do you do? What do you do with a problem like Trent? Where do you play him? He's going to be first ever manager to come in and have to do that since Klopp. So him and Szoboszlai, very different scenarios, and definitely Dom. You unleash him, you unlock him as a number 10, a number much more attacking number 8, or even in a wide position doing something, you're going to see a completely different player.
Right.
I think definitely. I am looking forward to that one.
Well, with that, I know we have, I will do my best to see if there's any other questions and I can bring them up tomorrow. But for now, we're going to have to bid you adieu because we are going to allow for you to go on to whichever destination it is. If this isn't your final destination, at least for you to go on to wherever destination you guys have in the likes. It looks like there's some good games out there that are still rounding out, with PSG over Barcelona and with the draw going between Dortmund and Atletico. But I thank you for joining me today, guys. And
sorry, thanks. I'm going to be jumping straight off as well.
Yeah, sure. And thank you, Brian, for joining us today. So, yeah, no doubt. Right. We'll see you tomorrow. And also, hopefully we will see you guys tomorrow too. Same time, same bat channel, as they say, but all the same, I wish that you guys continue to focus on the sense of knowing that taking care of yourself is important. And hopefully you will do so by doing that. You'll be able to take care of your loved ones in your lives. I ask that because, as a Red, I look at all Reds as family, and I wish the best for you all as always. So I appreciate you guys showing the support, liking, commenting, sharing, especially to these videos or to the channel in general. And I hope to see you guys back tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting show. So I hope that you do check out the thumbnail or check out what I got going on for tomorrow. And I'll just leave that little bit of a teaser. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Take care, guys.